This week at the movies, it's Oscar weekend, and we've got reviews of new movies out in theaters.
Plus, we'll give you our picks for who would take home the Academy Awards if we pick the winners. Just opening in theaters is Brooklyn's Finest from the director of Training Day.
Keep your eyes open and keep walking.
You brought him to the table. Whoa.
Plus, from Tim Burton, it's Alice in Wonderland starring Johnny Depp.
You're terribly late, you naughty.
He retires in a few days.
Shield, you're done.
We're all imperfect creatures. And we're led to sin. Pray for forgiveness. I don't want God's forgiveness.
3 very angry cops, 1 very violent film. I'm A.O. Scott of the New York Times.
And I'm Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune.
The crime rate in New York City may have fallen to record low levels, but you wouldn't know it to look at our first movie, Brooklyn's Finest, from Antoine Fuqua, the director of Training Day. Ethan Hawke, the LAPD rookie in that movie, returns here as an NYPD detective, one of 3 New York cops whose stories are woven together in this brutal, pulpy picture. Hawke's character, who has a house full of kids and debts no honest man can pay, is at the end of his rope.
Angie's expecting twins.
Congratulations. It's a problem?
Honey, I ain't got room for twins.
Sure you do. You got room here.
No, Ronnie, I don't get a new house. I get some more bread. I gotta tell one of these kids that they gotta move in with my sister. All right, how am I gonna do that?
Meanwhile, Don Cheadle has gone so deep undercover that he's no longer sure where his loyalties lie.
Because there's a problem with the deal.
No, ain't no problem, man. Ain't no problem I can't fix.
Yes.
Look, we getting this money, man.
No, listen to me. You cannot take this deal.
No.
Chaz, listen to me. You cannot take this deal.
Why, Tango?
Can we just take a ride, please?
That's Wesley Snipes as Cheadle's friend and ex-con. Richard Gere also stars in the movie as a burnt-out case counting the days until retirement.
Our commissioner, he believes in this new program that puts rookie cops in the highest crime areas. So they want seasoned hairbags like you, breaking these recruits in. And since you're the oldest here...
Look, if it's all the same to you, I got 7 days. I'm no one's teacher. I'm not a role model.
All of these guys walk a fine line between righteousness and ruin. And Brooklyn's Finest often walks the line between overwrought genre exercise and tough, emotionally resonant drama. But there's a lot of really strong stuff here. Excellent performances, gritty locations, and the pungent authenticity of first-time screenwriter Michael C. Martin's script make Brooklyn's Finest worth checking out. Brace yourself, but see it.
Whoa, this is a critic on the take here. I don't buy this. This is untruth in advertising. Tony, you cannot tell me this is not a very frustrating picture. You have actors on the level of Don Cheadle. Great to see Wesley Snipes on screen again, and moment to moment you can enjoy the actors. But this script is, you've hit it, a terrible combination of the obvious and the messy,
I don't think so at all.
and 3 stories in one.
I don't agree. I think that the 3 stories mirror each other and entwine in really interesting ways. I think that the actors go very deep into the psychology of these characters. I think Gere especially is terrific, very understated as this kind of angry, burnt-out case who's trying to mentor younger cops, who's just sort of counting the days. I think Cheadle is always wonderful.
Always good. Always good.
But I think, yeah, it's a little bit messy, but it's in the tradition of, the great Sidney Lumet New York cop pictures like Prince of the City or Q&A or Serpico. It's not at that level, but it is not on that level. It honorably aspires to reach that level.
The one thing I will say,
sometimes comes close.
I think Fuqua, the director, has a serious interest in working scenes with actors, and that's the one great strength of him as a director. He is so let down by the material here, though, Tony. By the time you get to the ending, where you have this insanely coincidental sort of confluence of events in one project. It goes off the rail,
but the scenes with the actors are really good. A movie is just scenes with actors in the end.
It's like an audition reel, though. That's how it plays.
No. Now, last week we told you about Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton's wild 3D rendering of the Lewis Carroll classic. It opens nationwide this Oscar weekend, and it's a beguiling, somewhat uneven mixture of creepiness and charm, with some of Burton's trademark melancholy and a lot of his unmatched visual inventiveness.
Not all of it. Oh, no, stop. No, don't do that. Hey! Oh, dear.
And what? what is this?
Mia Wasikowska plays an almost grown-up Alice who returns to a world she had visited in childhood and encounters familiar faces like the Cheshire Cat, the Red Queen, played by Helena Bonham Carter, and, of course, the Mad Hatter, played by Johnny Depp.
What a regrettably large head you have. I should very much like to have it. I used to have the White Queen, you know. Poor dear, her head is so small.
It's tiny. It's a pimple of a head.
This movie sags a bit in the middle as it shoehorns Carol's Wonderland into a standard fantasy franchise narrative of good and evil with the usual monsters and battles. But its dreamier moments, and also the framing story about Alice's adventures in the fanciful, real Victorian world, show Burton at his best. Weird, adventurous, and able to turn the chaos of the unconscious into vivid and surprising imagery. There's a lot to see in this movie, and you should see it.
I say see it too. I think it's probably Burton's best film in a decade, along with Sweeney Todd.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a book that has been tackled, a couple of books by Lewis Carroll they've been tackled many times over the years, and they're never fully solved because the books are so non-narrative oriented. They're much more riddle and language, obsessed.
And this moves
that's
away
difficult
from it.
to
I mean,
film.
and this the script of this movie does move pretty far from Lewis Carroll's story.
Right.
I mean, the characters are there. The Cheshire Cat and the Red Queen and the White Queen and the Caterpillar and the March Hare and everybody. But there is what feels like a much more kind of standard fantasy, Narnia, Golden Compass style battle between the good guys and the bad guys, and these sort of action sequences at the end that, for me, are the least interesting part.
No, Burton's never been very good at that kind of action anyway.
What's most interesting is the images and the characters and the world, and I think he does use 3D to sort of deepen and extend this world a little bit, and kind of enrich it.
But what you say about the casting, I think, is absolutely true with this sixth collaboration now between Depp and Burton. I mean, is Johnny Depp not the least likely character actor in the world right now?
Well, it's so funny how he's become a huge movie star on the basis of these eccentric character performances, like Jack Sparrow. But I think that with Johnny Depp, he was always so good-looking and so charismatic. He could have gone the kind of the straight down the middle movie star route, and he chose not to. And I think one of the directors who really saw his oddness and his eccentricity was Burton.
Absolutely.
In Edward Scissorhands, and then certainly in Ed Wood.
Well, that to me, that's the best. I mean, you can't. That movie compares to no other film really. Because it's one of my favorite biographies of any kind. But the work Depp is doing in Ed Wood with Burton, that is some of the wittiest.
Yes.
It is absolutely a one-joke performance, and it is so beautifully sustained. You can't believe he's pulling it off.
You're the file clerk. You're running into the next room when you bump into Janet.
Well, what is our relationship? Are we good friends, or is she just a casual acquaintance?
Dolores, I have 5 days to complete this picture. Don't get goofy on me.
And he takes the same kind of risk. Doesn't quite pull off at all with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where you have an actor under a director like Burton, who's encouraging him to go all the way out on the limb and create this bizarre characterization, very unsettling. And Charlie didn't work. I think the Mad Hatter works better.
I think it works with the Mad Hatter with these orange hair and that funny gap in his teeth.
It works. It doesn't dominate the film.
No, it doesn't.
No,
and you
it
wonder,
supports it.
Who is this guy? But that's what you should be wondering. He's a mysterious character. He's mad. He's mad as a hatter.
That's right. Coming
Coming up next, our alternative Oscars. We'll tell you who would take home the Academy Awards if we picked the winners. The Academy Awards are this weekend. We've already told you who we think will win, but what about who we think should win?
That's an excellent question. Let's start with Best Actor. The nominees are Jeff Bridges for Crazy Heart, George Clooney for Up in the Air, Colin Firth for A Single Man, Morgan Freeman for Invictus, and Jeremy Renner for The Hurt Locker. And Tony, of those 5,
I would like to see Jeremy Renner from The Hurt Locker take home the statue.
This box is full of stuff that almost killed me.
What about this one? Where's this one from, Will?
It's my wedding ring. Like I said, stuff that almost killed me.
I think this guy's an amazing actor.
It's great, and it's such a good performance. You suffer through so many well-meaning portrayals of the military psyche and all kinds of military men that just don't even get close to what it might be like in real life. And this absolutely feels authentic in every detail.
And kind of a new character, a type of military professional who's obsessed with his profession and with the guys around him and with the job that you really haven't seen before. I thought it was tremendous.
No, really strong.
Who do you like?
I'd love it if Renner won, but I have to say, of the 5, it's, for me, Colin Firth in A Single Man.
Looking in the mirror, staring back at me, isn't so much a face That's the expression of a predicament.
Colin Firth is an actor who people have respected for a long time, and in a way, he's hard to pinpoint why he's so good. And this film lets him do almost everything he can do.
Well, because it's a character that surprises you. I mean, you think it's going to be played in a certain way, you know, closeted gay man, early 1960s, British expat, English professor.
Right.
You think that's going to be one thing, and he shows you all of the different ways that this guy is who he is.
Yeah,
It's great.
he's a very astute actor.
He is. Moving on to Best Actress, the nominees are Sandra Bullock for The Blind Side, Helen Mirren for The Last Station, Carey Mulligan for An Education, Gabourey Sidibe for Precious, and Meryl Streep for Julie and Julia.
And you, Tony, who would you pick personally?
Personally, I'm going with Meryl Streep for Julie and Julia, who I also think will win.
Gosh, I thought I was speaking French to you. No. Malheureusement. Dommage.
It's so much fun to watch her. I have to say, you know, pleasure per minute of watching an actor or actress do what they do. Nothing can beat that.
Now, have you ever had that moment, though, when she takes on a comic role and you just feel like it's 110% too much?
No, but I like that. I like the slight theatricality. She's not actually burrowing in and being a psychological realist, you know, kind of method actor in this. She's giving you a performance. She's staging it. She's saying, look at me, I'm even more Julia Child than Julia Child was. And it's fun. It's
great. She is a great time at the movies.
Yes. And
one actress alone. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you?
I would say, for me, it's Carey Mulligan in Education.
If I get to university, I'm going to read what I want and to wear black.
Now that shows you're a rebel. They don't want that at Oxford.
No, they don't want people who can think for themselves.
Certainly this is one of the year's breakout performances.
Yeah, and a good film with a great performance in the middle of it. I think Carey Mulligan, really, if you hadn't seen her in anything else, you look at this actress who just captures this 17-year-old London teenager in the early 1960s, sort of struggling to find what kind of woman she's going to be and what kind of relationship she's meant for. Mulligan has the technique and the soul of people like Kate Winslet, Helen Mirren. I mean, I think she's going to be a player through the next 20, 30 years.
I think she has that potential. I like An Education okay. I don't feel it's quite strong enough even to sort of to carry her.
Really? Not even for her? Well,
yeah, not even for her. Coming up next, we continue picking our own winners for the Academy Awards.
And on next week's show, from the director that brought us two of the Bourne movies, it's Green Zone, starring Matt Damon, plus America Ferrera and Forrest Whitaker star in Our Family Wedding.
We're getting married.
What?
What would happen if Tony and I were the only ones voting on the Oscars? Here's what would happen if we picked the winners. Moving on to Best Supporting Actress, Tony, what are they?
The nominees are Penelope Cruz for 9, Vera Farmiga for Up in the Air, Maggie Gyllenhaal for Crazy Heart, Anna Kendrick for Up in the Air, and Monique for Precious. I think we know who is going to win this one.
Yes, Monique.
And who do you think should win this one? If you had a vote at the Academy Awards.
And if I did, I would go Monique.
Who else was gonna love me?
It's an amazingly brave performance, and that, you know, often that word brave is used to describe sheer excess and melodrama. It's right on the edge the entire film, but I think by the time you get to that key scene at the end between Monique and Mariah Carey, who also is so much better than anyone would have guessed, you are there, and I think she deserves it.
But you know what? If I were voting, I'd vote for Anna Kendrick for Up in the Air, just because I thought she was so delightful, took what could have been, you know, really a sort of a stick figure comic character and turned her into something else.
No, I don't mean to belittle your collection. I get it. It sounds cool.
I'd be the 7th person to do it. More people have walked on the moon.
Did they throw you a parade?
I will say there's one of these nominees who I think is a case of the right actress being nominated for absolutely the wrong movie, and that's Penelope Cruz, who was just cringeworthy in 9, who was wonderful and heartbreaking in Pedro Almodovar's Broken Embraces.
Yeah, I got to say the Cruz nomination for 9 sounds like a flusher to me. It's like they should have just nominated the costume and left the actress out.
Or the mascara.
Yeah, right. And now, Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are Matt Damon for Invictus, Woody Harrelson for The Messenger, Christopher Plummer for The Last Station, Stanley Tucci for The Lovely Bones, and Christoph Waltz for Inglourious Bastards.
Well, if I were a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which will not happen in this lifetime, I would cast my vote for Woody Harrelson.
First of all, men don't ask for directions, much less soldiers. Soldiers on a notification definitely, positively Do not ask for freaking directions.
It's a rare, heartening case of an actor getting a nomination for what is probably his best work. I think The Messenger forced Harrelson to kind of cut the clowning and really pare down to the bone and strip away a lot of the externals that have kind of can help an actor get through all kinds of junk. Good material this time.
He does a lot of comic, shtick, fun, goofy stuff. This was really a raw, focused performance. He took us, you know, as Jeremy Renner did, I think took us into the mind and feelings of a military professional who's a very complicated individual.
Yeah, and a good film. I hope people seek it out more. The Messenger.
And you, sir?
I would go. I hate to do it. It's the Monique phenomenon all over again. I think the one who has been winning and winning and winning for the work deserves it. Christoph Waltz in *Glorious Bastards*.
If a rat were to walk in here right now as I'm talking, would you greet it with a source of your delicious milk?
Tony, based on your right actor, wrong role theme here, I think we have the same case with Matt Damon. I wouldn't have gone with Invictus for him. I would have nominated, personally, Best Actor for The Informant. That is a very droll performance.
Very droll performance. I would also say, continuing that line, Stanley Tucci, nominated for a kind of, you know, creepy and overdone performance.
Overacted.
Was amazing in Julie and Julia. I mean, talk about supporting actor. He supported Meryl Streep's wonderful performance with a very deft, subtle, gallant, and charming performance as Julia Child's husband, Paul.
All right, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Coming up next, we take a look at the Best Picture category at this year's Academy Awards. If We Pick the Winners continues.
We're telling you who would take home Oscars if we, Tony and I, pick the winners. Now we move on to the Best Picture category.
10 in this category this year. Avatar, The Blind Side, District 9, An Education, The Hurt Locker, Inglourious Bastards, Precious, A Serious Man, Up, and Up in the Air.
And did you hear about the Morgans? No, that did not make it. Okay, your pick, if you voted personally, which one?
If I was voting, I would not hesitate for a second, and I would pick The Hurt Locker.
Welcome to Camp Victory.
Oh, Camp Victory? I thought this was Camp Liberty.
Oh, no, they changed that about a week ago. Victory sound better.
This movie, you know, got its start almost a year and a half ago in the Venice and Toronto film festivals. I saw it in Toronto. It blew me away then. I've seen it twice more since then. I just think it is such a strong piece of filmmaking, great script, great performances, really gripping and entertaining, and also really serious, probing look at men at war.
Nah, I never liked it. No, it's very strong. It's a very strong film. It made my top 10 easily. For me, though, it's my favorite film last year remains Up.
Can we keep him, please, please, please?
No.
But it's a talking dog!
Up, for me, culminates this remarkable streak of excellent work from Disney Pixar, Ratatouille, WALL-E, and Up, and I love this film.
Are there any, you know, looking back at the year and sort of closing the book on it and thinking about the movies that we liked and didn't like, is there anything missing from this list of 10 that you think, wow, it really should be in there?
That's a good question. Another one that made my top 10 list that I really love, although you have to recommend it cautiously because it is so foul-mouthed, is the British comedy In the Loop, which to me brought back a kind of zip and verbal invention that I hadn't heard in a long time. I really love that dialogue, and I love the acting. So, very good. How about you?
That's it. Well, for me, my favorite movie of last year was completely shut out of Oscar consideration, something I will never forgive the Academy for.
I know which one you're talking about.
And that was Where the Wild Things Are.
I love that film, too.
Just a lovely, lovely movie. Very odd, very individual. Just, you know, I really love that one.
No,
but
one of the most divisive films of the year, truly.
And it doesn't need their awards. It's a great movie anyway.
That's very good.
Heck with them. Can't decide what to see in theaters? Stay tuned for my 3 to see.
Watch your mouth.
Blink, blink, blink.
Closed captioning for At the Movies is sponsored by Hotel provided by Park Hyatt Chicago. Chicago's award-winning hotel and luxury dining experience. Located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile on Water Tower Square.
It's Oscar weekend. Why not go see a movie? My number 3 pick, Tim Burton's freeform 3D reimagining of Alice in Wonderland. The story isn't always up to the original, but the visuals are mesmerizing and the mood is both magical and satisfyingly creepy. The mood is just plain brutal in my number 2 choice, Brooklyn's Finest, with Richard Gere, Ethan Hawke, and Don Cheadle as 3 New York police officers grappling with right and wrong as the bullets fly. Creepy and brutal don't even begin to describe my number 1 choice, The Crazies, a crackerjack horror movie about a peaceful Iowa hamlet overrun by some pretty extreme mayhem.
That's it for now. We'll leave you with a recap of this week's show. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Just go to atthemoviestv.com to find out how.
And join us next week for reviews of Matt Damon in Green Zone and Robert Pattinson in Remember Me. Until then, we'll be at the movies.